Truecaller has announced a corporate rebranding and launch of a brand new app icon that is now live on Google Play Store and Apple App Store. The company says that the timing of the new brand identity aligns with a significant transformation taking place in the digital space. This new branding identity is orchestrated by leading global brand consultancy Interbrand, and it will be rolled out across the globe over the coming weeks. To tell us more about it, we are joined in by Alan Mamedi, co-founder and CEO, Truecaller. Alan, welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thank you. Good morning.
Alan, first, let's begin this conversation. Tell us about this new brand refresh.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're very excited about it. Obviously, we've been around for more than or almost 1.5 decades now. And during all these years, we've seen how scams and fraudulent calls have been increasing during the years. And we believe that it's important for us to continue to stay relevant as a product, but also as a brand. That's why we started this initiative to refresh our brand, make the blue color that people trust stand out, and connect the true inside of our logo into the app icon as well. So we're very excited about it. And as a part of this, we're also rolling out a couple of new features around scam protection as well.
So if you can tell us more about this, and what is the new direction that Truecaller will be taking with this brand refresh, and what are the changes, as you mentioned, rolling out some new features. So what are the changes that consumers should expect?
For us, we're punching even more on our new slogan now, which is take the right call. Because as a consumer, we don't want to miss opportunities, right? And we want to take every single call. The question is, which one is the right one? And this is something that we're being great at for many, many years, but we can obviously become better. We identify almost 9 out of 10 scams and fraudulent calls. Now, we're not happy. We want this to be every single call. And some of the things that we've seen earlier this year, for example, we launched caller ID on Truecaller that works even on WhatsApp calls because we saw an increase in number of fraudulent calls. But some of the patterns that we also saw was that a scammer would set up a new account on various platforms to communicate with people and try to lure them into something. And we also saw that when they create these new accounts, there's no way for people to know whether this is a new user or a new account or someone pretending to be someone. So what we've done with AI now is telling the user, because we do recognize some of these patterns, that, hey, this account or this phone number, this profile connected to this phone number was recently created, or it has been frequently changed. So some of the scams that we've seen in India many times is, they pretend to be from an electrician, like electric provider, or some other type of provider. And when they change profiles frequently, we will alert the users.
Truecaller also crossed a significant milestone this month with 300 million daily active users this month. What has contributed to this growth, Alan?
What we saw was that the big growth in the last 2 years have come from markets outside of India for us. So percentage-wise and in absolute numbers, we can see that other markets such as Malaysia, Indonesia, parts of Africa, but also many parts of Latin America, like Chile, Peru, Colombia. These markets are growing really fast for us. And it's because it's a global problem that people have around the world, the mistrust in communication. So we're a global company. We have offices in many places around the world. And we're on a very important mission.
Last time we spoke, Alan, Truecaller underwent a substantial enhancement for the iOS platform. How has that enhancement helped Truecaller acquire, even a greater user base?
Absolutely, it's a very good question. So I think for many years, we just didn't focus on the iOS product enough. In fact, our active users on the platform were flat for a very long time, and even on a decline, I would say, until the team decided to regroup, redo the app from scratch, throw out the old code, and really start thinking like an Apple-focused company within the company. And since then, we launched it less than a year ago, the new update. And since then, we've actually seen a growth that is almost 150% on the active users. So it's a really beautiful hockey curve where, you know, the platform went from decline to actually exponential growth. So the iPhone product in itself has contributed a lot to our growth, obviously.
Yeah, Alan, when we spoke and, when you spoke about this entire rebranding exercise, you also mentioned, a feature using AI to offer better solutions to consumers. And AI is, so much talk of the town. So how are you using AI moving forward or going forward to further enhance user experience on the platform? What else do we see in the pipeline?
It's a very good question. So what we're trying to build is everything in-house, where we try to make sense of the data, the signals, to build great predictive models. That's what this is all about. We're not building a ChatGPT type of product, as a core feature, but rather utilizing the technology to make predictions much faster. Because we do have over 300 million users that help us by reporting spam calls, suggesting names to unknown callers and so forth, which with this data, we can make certain predictions. But with AI, we believe we can make these predictions much, much faster.
Now, coming to India, which is Truecaller's largest market, what are some of the India-specific solutions that Truecaller is working towards in the coming months, and also India-specific investments that we will see in the coming days?
We can't go too much into, the roadmap since we're, working really in silence, I would say, or in the quiet. We're working with some really interesting stuff around product. But what I can promise you is that even though we're a company of 430 people, we're still working extremely fast as a small startup, basically, because that's the way we're organized within the organization. We've done a few investments, both recently during this year. We opened up our largest office in Bengaluru, where we had a big inauguration. So we're a pretty big team over there. We're over 200 people in the Bengaluru office. But we have some things coming up that we're going to announce in the coming weeks. And, I'm excited to talk about them later on.
When it comes to your business model, do you see challenges, with this whole new rules around data privacy and data protection in India?
Well, not at all, actually. We do believe that the new law that has been passed is for the greater good. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Truecaller has always stood for protecting consumers. We've always had a data minimization policy. We've done many things that other companies have not done. And we've done that because we believe that the user should always be in control. So our Truecaller users has for many years been able to delete their data, to get access to it, and so forth. So we believe that in order to build a successful business and a successful product, you need to have consumers that trust your brand and that they trust you as a service. And the only way to get there is to have all these things in place.
Sure.
And what the government has done with this new law is making the playing field transparent for everyone. So we're very excited about it. We think it's a great initiative, and we're looking forward to the implementation of it.
Thank you so much, Alan. Thanks for joining us today, and congratulations on the brand refresh.
Thank you very much, Shivani.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we are joined in by Ashish Mishra, EVP Marketing Acko, and Rajdeepak Das from Leo Burnett, who are speaking to us about their health insurance ki Subah Ho Gayi Mamu campaign featuring Munna and Circuit. This week, Acko has brought back two iconic characters that we love. Our favorite jodi of Munna, Bhai and Circuit have been revived for their campaign titled Health insurance की सुबह हो गई मामू. That sees Sanjay Dutt and Arshad Varsi reprise their original roles and question the current health system. Directed by filmmaker Rajkumar Hirani, the film speaks about Acko's newly launched health insurance product, Acko Platinum Health Plan. To tell us more, we are joined in by Ashish Mishra, EVP Marketing Acko, and from Leo Burnett, we are joined in by Rajdeepak Das. Welcome to CNBC TV18.
Thank you, Sunny.
Ashish, let's begin this conversation with you. You are the brand custodian. Tell us, how did you even pull it off to get, these three icons, which is Sanjay Dutt, Arshad Varsi and Rajkumar Hirani together into a campaign?
I think it all started with the fact that we generally believe that, great campaigns are born out of great products. And we took some time to launch health insurance, but because we wanted to really fix it. And having come out with some really disruptive features, we also wanted some disruptive campaign to do justice to it. And who better than talk about Munna, to talk about health insurance rather than Munna and Circuit. And that's where the idea was born.
Yeah, and what was it like to actually execute something like this? Because, on TV, it's entertaining, it looks fun, it looks nice, but I'm sure it would have been such a challenge, to actually bring these three people together and, recreate that magic. Raj.
I think before I talk about that, I will talk about a little bit 2 steps back and talk about how tough or easy must be selling it to the client, the idea, right, to Ashish and the team. I think the team always, whenever Ashish and the team will keep on meeting, Spiky, me, Ashish always says, yeah, give me something big, something that can change the thing, something that can shake the country. But the best part is because every time they create a product which was already revolutionary, the product, either it is in automobile industry or insurance or now in the health, they're doing it amazing job. So I think, remember, when the brief came, the biggest thing is even we don't understand health insurance ourselves as a consumer, as a dad or as a husband or as a brother. We don't understand it till you fall sick because it looks very complicated. This is how do you make people understand that it's simplified it. But Acko's biggest thing is to simplify product. How you do that? While working on all the thing, I think the team came with the idea. Hats off to the team came with the idea. While discussing this, who can actually simplify the most complicated thing? Munna, Bhai and Circuit.
Correct.
They've talked about MBBS, Munna, Bhai, MBBS. They talk about the health industry in a simplified way. They talk about the society in a simplified way. I says, can we talk? Getting those two guys, Munna, Bhai and Circuit, coming and telling how easy the insurance is. And I think when they talk to the team and Ashish, and I think they jumped at it. It's all, I'm telling you, we are as creative as the marketing people we work with. I think they got excited. It says, I think this is it. This is it. We are not going any more round of writing or anything. This is it. We are doing it.
These two characters have a way of looking at the society from outside and say, patient ko kyun bolte? So 100% bill payment hona chahiye. And that's where the marriage happened. And they were like, yaar, this is perfect. Now, the challenge was how to convince the whole ecosystem to bring them back. And that's when I flew down from Bangalore. In fact, it was supposed to be a Zoom call. I said, no, we'll fly down. We'll go personally meet him. So an agency came. Abhimanyu was the guy who actually helped us say, let's go first meet Mr. Hirani and see if he's even remotely aligned to it. Then that meeting we sat down. I spoke to him about Acko. Spiky spoke to him about the campaign. Towards the end, he was like, okay, chalo karte hain. And that's how that was the beginning of the start of a very long process.
Yeah, and Ashish, it's also, it's a bold move, it's a brave move and very, very ambitious move as well. I'm sure it would have required a lot of marketing budgets because it's not just about campaign creation. I'm sure, bringing back the trio would have been expensive and costly affair in its own right. And then pushing it across platforms. How do you justify that internally within, your organization when you are coming up with something like this?
So I'll tell you personally, I believe that sometimes marketers get it wrong. They tend to spend more on media rather than production and actually doing justice with the idea. I believe that if you get it right, you have to show it less number of times. So, it pays off in the longer run. Thankfully, within Acko, I have enough stakeholders who bought into the idea and could see the value of it, and how it can happen. And then it doesn't look like a cost. It looks like an investment, right? And that was the support that we got from the team. So yeah, glad that we pulled it off. A lot of anxiety nights, and I swear we were more worried about doing justice to the two characters.
Yeah.
Because if you bring back two iconic characters and they don't land in the way you wanted to.
Yeah. Everything will fall flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thankfully, Mr. Hirani helped us with that.
Yeah. Also, on that note, Mr. Raju Hirani coming in from an advertising background, how much did he lend to the narrative? Did he have his own suggestions to the whole campaign, how it pans out, etc.?
I think one of the biggest thing that the filter that we had was, is it Acko? Is you talking the things right? And is it Munna Bhai? Will Munna Bhai will talk about this? Will Circuit will say like this? What if Circuit will say like this? So the entire thing was about how we do it. But that is what we are seeing it. But when we went to Raju was very it's amazing because the way he was looking into it, of course from an ex-advertising background, done so many advertising film, and he's the person who knows how to make the most complicated things simplified way. And that is what he did. He was actually helping us a lot of places. We can do this, we can say this, we can talk about the product like that, we can say, look, this thing, but same thing in the Munnaized way. Have you Munnaized way or have you done a Circuit way?
Yeah.
And because that was the biggest challenge for us. Saying the language, using the language, not going over the top, but saying the talk, explaining the product is the most challenging thing.
Yeah.
30 rounds maybe the team has gone through.
Ah, wow. Wow. And what was the energy on the set, if you can share that, when all three of them came together?
Okay, I just had goosebumps. But I'll tell you, once they walked onto the set, there was not a single person on the set who was not smiling. Looking at both of them, and Raju sir created the entire old crew who's worked on both the Munna Bhais. Everyone was smiling, and this. I think the world wanted to see them together, and just to be part of that set, just to be part of that shoot, they were just so happy.
Yeah.
We were very happy, obviously seeing both of them together. Great camaraderie between the two of them.
And this year also incidentally marks 20 years since this iconic Munna Bhai series was created back in 2003. Everyone has, their favorites from the series. My personal being, शरीर में 206 हड्डी है, तोड़ते वक्त अपन सोचते हैं क्या?
Correct.
So what is your favorite, Ashish and Raj?
I think many. Like one of the iconic is अपने को एक body चाहिए. That is like iconic, and yeah, Circuit's reaction to that I can't say, but yeah, amazing it was.
I think for me, Jadoo Ki Chappi, yeah. It is such a simple communication way, just curing people. Hug people. It says Jadoo Ki Chappi, right? It's simple.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, Naveen Khemka, CEO EssenceMediacom's South Asia, shares his ambition of becoming the top media agency under Group M in an exclusive chat with CNBC-TV18. Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard, and now we are in conversation with Naveen Khemka, CEO of EssenceMediacom. He is speaking to us about the changes after the merger a few months ago between Essence and Mediacom, and how is the new agency adopting or adapting to the new work streams. Also, he is speaking to us about their half-year report card and then excitement around the festival. When asked about his big plans for EssenceMediacom going forward, Naveen Khemka says, watch out Mindshare and Wavemaker as they are on their way to become the top media agency. Listen in. Naveen, welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thank you so much.
So it's been a few months actually since the merger happened between Essence and Mediacom. Tell us, what have been the past few months been like for you at the helm of the agency in India?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think top 3 agencies in the country, and barely 6 months old now.
Yeah.
Barely 6 months old. We are in our 7th month right now. So I think it's been a fantastic launch for EssenceMediacom globally and also in India. I think we've really setting up this future-facing, future-first agency, future-proofing our people, future-proofing our clients, and we've really invested a lot in the last 6 months in driving the agency culture, in driving the agency product, so that we are able to go to the market with a differentiated product and able to differentiate ourselves.
What was your task in hand as a leader, and how have you, applied some of the global work streams locally within the India market while you did this entire merger between Essence and Mediacom?
So, Shivani, I would say two things. I would say at first the agency, my task as a leader is to first to get the two teams together. They are coming from different cultures and different ways of working. So it's very important to get the culture of the agency right. So as leadership team internally, we spend a lot of time internally understanding the people, understanding the culture we want to create. So clearly two things we want to do. We want to take the best of Essence and the best of Mediacom into Essence Mediacom. So the best of Mediacom would be, we are a very growth-oriented brand. Mediacom, as you know, was growing at 30-40% every year in India. So we want to retain that growth culture. And Essence, on the other hand, we're very digital first, very tech savvy. So we want to also retain that part of the culture of Essence to create something which is really what I said, future ready.
Naveen, if you can tell us what has been the 6-month report card for Essence Mediacom. You spoke about awards, but apart from that, in terms of business and new business pipeline.
Yes, I would say, as I said, that from a culture point of view, we want to retain the growth part of our culture very, very strongly, because we strongly believe that growth is very, very important going forward. So in the first 6 months, from a new business point of view, I think we would have converted almost $70 to $80 million worth of new business, which is almost like 700 to 800 crores worth of new business already converted. And another, I would say, $300 to $400 million in the pipe, 300 to 400 crores in the pipeline. So by the end of the year, I'm expecting that from a new business point of view, I would have converted almost 120 to $140 million of new business, which is fantastic, because if you see in the past, individually, we've not been able to cross $100 million any of these years before. So I would say, from a new business point of view, about 100 to $120 million, which is about 700 to 900 crores of new business. That's one. And the other way is from an existing client's point of view, I would say the way we are able to go back to our clients and offer them newer services that we have launched, so that they are able to future-proof themselves. So that is the other way in which we are growing.
On that note, Nick, when he was here, and I have his quote, he said that India is #1 on the list of the next big regions we are looking at. And also it could be potentially be double the size in the next 3 to 4 years. So how far are you in that path, in that journey, Naveen?
I think when Nick says this, we have to do it, right? So there is no two ways about it. Yeah. But having said that, if you look at the math, if you look at currently we are about 15, I would say about $1,500 million US in terms of billings. Organic clients we expect to grow at about 20%. In terms of new business, assuming I'm able to add about $120 million worth of new business every year. So pretty much I would say in the next 3 to 4 years, we should double our size. We should definitely be about 3,000 million to anything between $3,500 million. So that's the size of the agency that we are talking in the next 3 years.
Third largest, so is being #1 on your ambition, Naveen?
So I would say, if you look at it, it's a very healthy competition. All the top 3 agencies in India now are Group M agencies.
Group M agencies. So healthy competition.
It's very healthy competition internally.
Yes.
Internally, definitely, I would say I want to be #2 very soon. And sooner than next 3 years, want to be #2 in the next 1 year.
So watch out, Amin Lakhani.
No, I would say, yeah, watch out both Ajay Gupta and Amin Lakhani. So here is a new kid on the block.
Okay. Finally, before we go, we are setting foot into the festive season. If you can tell us your expectations from this year's festival.
Yeah, Shivani, what has happened this year has not played out the way it was supposed to play out. If you look at the first 6 months, I would say 2 things which have really, slowed down the growth in the first 6 months. One is, I would say, freak summers and a funding winter. So by freak summers, what I mean, you've seen the way the rains have come in, and you've seen that we've hardly had summers in the north. And therefore, all the summer category brands in India in the first half of the season actually did not see the growth that they were expecting to see. And the funding winter, on the other hand, was basically all the startup clients who were getting heavily funded till last year actually put brakes on their spending because of the huge setback that they saw in terms of the funds coming into their businesses. Because of that, we saw a slowdown in the first 6 months of the year. Yeah. So the first 6 months of the year, I would say we did not see a double-digit growth. In fact, we saw a single-digit growth while India was still growing. In the next half of the year, now we are expecting overall the year to end at about 12% still, as per the Group M TYNY latest report, which means the second half of the year now, needs to grow at least 15 to 16% to be able to make up for the first half of the year. So and also July and August have not been very big months, right? So which means September, we are sitting right now, September, October, November, 3 months where we are expecting clients to come back with a huge festival season on the back of Asia Cup right now, World Cup happening in October, November, on the back of festival spends, on the back of a lot of new launches. So yes, I'm very hopeful that we will look at about 15 to 16% growth in the next half of the year, which is H2 of 2023, resulting in overall 12% growth during the festival season, in overall year.
And any interesting patterns, any interesting trends that you're seeing around this time where, cricketing season is marrying the festive season, the way in which, marketers are doing their media investments, Naveen?
I would say it's become tougher given the funding winter that I was talking about. So I would say earlier cricket would be a very hot selling property, and this time around a lot of hard work is going into monetizing of cricket properties. There is a very good traction in the market right now. Having said that, there are a lot of other key launches like good reality shows, good mega launches by other networks also, which is also fueling a lot of interest on advertising spends. So I think cricket coupled with the other networks, which are obviously also planning to have big launches. Also, I would say an extended festival season. If you look at this time, Diwali is pretty late. Diwali is almost around the 11th or 12th of November, which means it gives you, rather than a 4-week or a 5-week festive, it almost gives you like a 8 to 9 week of festival activity, which also could help in brands wanting to extend their festival activity beyond 4 to 6 weeks. So these 3 things I would say should help us in getting in more revenues in the next 3 months, which are so critical for this year to perform well.
All the best for that, Naveen. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today and sharing your insights with us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, Shivani.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.